Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, providing the tools to manifest anything. Don't you like that? Coffee chat time. I have an exercise for you that could shift you yet again into another reality. You ready? My coffee and tea drinkers, take a big old sip and get ready. Oh, that froth, that new expensive frother I bought was worth every cent. All right. Now here's what we do all day long unconsciously. So let's say you're focused on your 3-second manifesting exercise where you switch from a negative thought to a positive in 3 seconds. You catch yourself all day doing that because we are thinking negative things most of the time. We don't realize it. Therefore, that is exactly what we're manifesting. You are creating absolutely everything. There isn't something outside of you. There's not something you need to bring to yourself. You are actually the source of everything in your life, including the lessons, the challenges. Why? Until you overcome them, they will continually show up. They'll be a part of your life, and that'll be the life you choose, and you wonder why you're there and other people are progressing or never got that lesson in the first place. It's all part of your spiritual evolution, so don't discount that. And when you stop being a victim, you start taking charge. You can create anything. Now, be careful about other people's free will. Let's create what is best and highest for ourselves and others. And we're going to talk about others today because this is another shift that could really open up big doors for you. Big, big doors. And what is it? We're going to shift into neutral. Now, that is a practice that I gave you many videos ago, and I mention it once in a while. What does it mean? Let's say you're in a situation at work and your boss is being, less than pleasant. Let's put it that way. And you're thinking, well, I'm going to shift into a higher thought. And you just can't do it because your blood's boiling, your blood pressure is up, it's not fair, and whatever it is you're thinking. And you just really can't get yourself to shift into a higher thought. You shift into neutral. So what you don't want to do is go into negative thoughts, blame and name calling in your head. I mean, it's nobody else is getting that. You're doing it to yourself. So no one, including mostly yourself, benefits from any negative thoughts about another person. We're going to talk about we're focused on the others right now, okay? And let's face it, most of the stuff that goes on during the day does involve other people, right? That's who can push your buttons best. Well, I say who can help you evolve best? Other people. All right, so what are we going to do in that situation? You shift into neutral. You say, okay, I don't have to go into a positive thought because I'm just really not feeling capable of that right now. Until I ascend to a higher frequency, I am not able to do that right now because I need to learn from this so that at some point these things will have no effect on me. So what am I going to do? I don't want to go into a negative thought pattern because that's not good for that person or myself or the collective consciousness. And I have a mission here. And if I go into a negative thought about another person, ooh, you are really dinging the collective consciousness. And that's not why we came here, is to go into our own self-absorbed thinking, which is usually negative when something doesn't go our way. So just shift into neutral, and that is, all right, I don't have to have a thought either way. Yeah, let the old blood pressure, go up, but you don't have to have a thought, a negative thought about it, nor do you have to go into a positive thought because that's probably going to make it worse, right? When you're trying to force something, this is why Breakthrough Fear, my e-course, is so powerful. Go to landriaonkka.com and check out Breakthrough Fear. It's a major manifesting course. I know it says Breakthrough Fear, but that is actually what we're doing, is not allowing whatever is here to control us anymore, but we don't fight it. So when you're fighting that negative thought or whatever, you're actually fueling it. All right? You're actually fueling it. When you look at it straight, because you're avoiding it, right? I don't want to feel that way. But when you look at it straight on, but you have no thoughts about it either way, you now shift into neutral, and it dissipates. Now here's the whole focus of this video is not just what somebody does to you, but simple, everyday things that go on, including the news, when you're debating politics or religion or anything. Every opposition, everything that you oppose is the ego believing it is right. Absolutely. And I know I'll get people that will probably argue this point because that's what they do. The ego has to argue and be right. And you don't have to believe this. See, you can shift to neutral, and this is our practice. Do it with me if you disagree with me. You can hear someone's opinion and do absolutely nothing with it, and not claim to be right, and not go into a black or white space, and realize that that is their reality, and respect it, and do nothing else with it. So again, you don't have to agree with somebody. Let's say somebody blatantly, you're convinced they're blatantly wrong about what they feel, think, how they live, right? You don't have to have an opinion either way about it. And just say to yourself, that is another student's opinion. That's all. And that we are all here in a dense planet, and our egos will choose opinions, sides, desires, and it wants what it wants, and it believes that it is right. It wants, like, if I get this one more time, I just got another one, somebody else email me. How do I make my ex fall in love with me again? Oh my gosh, cray cray, cray cray. I want you to look at that and ask yourself, what part of that's good for the other person? If they wanted to be in love with you, they would. All right? So every single situation, look at the other and say, what does the other choose for their reality? Am I violating that space or trying to? Am I infringing on free will? And is my ego trying to be right? So let's say your boss I get the boss thing a lot, right? People are, oh, my boss. Yeah, there's a lot of really stressed out bosses out there who don't want to be in those positions, and everything falls on their shoulders, and it's really not worth the money that they make. So instead of being compassionate toward that, even though they are directing their negativity toward you, the more that you oppose it, the more it gets riled up and it becomes worse. You're actually focusing on the negativity, and therefore you create more of it. Whatever you focus on, you're creating, you're manifesting. 3-second manifesting. What am I manifesting? Negativity toward the boss. Even though he's wrong, you think he's wrong, you are creating more of that negative situation. You're actually making it worse. And I've had people, last year I did quite a few videos on this, and I had people actually go into work and treat the people that were worse to them. They treated them amazing. They were so nice, no matter what they did. And every single person that did this wrote me and said that things turned around. There was no opposition anymore, right? There was nothing to battle anymore. And so the opposition, that the other, stopped having to be right, because even if their ego was still, in full control, it didn't have to battle its status anymore, because you were no longer giving it something to battle, nothing to oppose, because that's your ego doing it too. So sometimes we actually, I'd say most of the time, the ego doesn't realize what it's doing, that it's equally negative as the thing that it's opposing. Because only an ego has to oppose something. And that's just going to be the toughest thing you may have to do all day long. Every single thought. And I'm talking about criticism of how somebody dresses. And you're thinking, ugh, that's inappropriate, right? That's a negative criticism of the other. And that's the ego believing that how you dress or how you think they should dress is right. We are here expressing ourselves in every possible format, on every level, every frequency, from the light to the dark. And there is no evil unless you create it. You get to create it if you want to. So you can live in a world where people do love each other. Now here's the biggest challenge we have. You can be the most enlightened person, and you're on a planet with some very dark lower frequencies. It's tough for these ranges of frequencies to be around each other, because that's not compatible, right? And that is the challenge. So if you're really on a high frequency, you're able to handle that. It doesn't feel good. Just know that awakened people deal with these negative feelings and experiencing them greatly, but they don't do anything with it. They don't have a thought about it. They don't allow it to take them down. They don't battle it. They're not victims. They just observe it. There's a lower frequency. They see the pain, they feel the pain, but they don't suffer. All right, that they're still human beings experiencing this stuff. They have personalities, right? Not everybody walks around like Eckhart Tolle, like a little angel. And I believe that's his personality. I believe that he was probably a very easygoing person before he went to in a super awakened state. So it's okay to be you. It's okay to be silly and boisterous and whatever. You can be in a high frequency and still have your personality and not judge other people, right? You don't have to be right. So ask yourself all day long, do your 3-second manifesting practice on judgment and having to be right. Because when you do that, you're separating, you're lowering your frequency, and you're blocking yourself from manifesting positive things in your life. You're going to continually manifest lessons, challenges, so that you can break through that egotistical behavior and recognize it for what it is. It's going to keep coming in your face. And these challenges, the boss is going to yell at you. Why? Because you need that lesson. You need the N-word in a positive way. You need that lesson in order for you to recognize that you're still part of the problem. It does not matter what that other person does. Don't judge it. Be the positive solution, right? There's going to be some nasty stuff going on out there. Be the positive solution. Don't sit and say, somebody said investment bankers in royalty. Boy, I wonder why you mention investment bankers. Wealthy investment bankers in royalty, they do all these horrible things. They get away with it, and it bothers me. I'm like, really? Geez, welcome to planet Earth. It's not investment bankers and royalty, my friend. It's everything on the planet that's really distorted. And it's here to correct itself. And it starts with you sitting there thinking it's wrong and judging those other people when you absolutely don't know anything about those situations. And if that's your focus, then your world will be a very dense, negative one. What are you doing? Looking at that? Whatever you focus on, you manifest. You actually create it more, and that's your reality. So let us view the other as another student on a different frequency, with a different opinion, and that none of it is good nor bad. So shift into neutral, catch yourself all day long. You're going to notice some amazing breakthroughs in your manifesting when you do this. It's going to blow your mind when you realize you're going into a higher frequency. And so you're going to feel happier, you're going to be kinder to people, and they will react differently. And all of a sudden, the problems, the conflict you have with other people, it's going to dissipate. My friend who's complaining about her negative husband, why don't you try going into this, the higher frequency of compassion? And they're just words. Allow him to do it. If he wants to do that, go. Why do you have to have him change for you? Right? And if it's too negative for you to be around, without judgment, remove yourself. Not in that's you not practicing awakening. This is your challenge. I know, we don't look at it that way. We think we're right. We're all awakened. Oh, I'm awakened now. Nope, not if you're thinking that. So get to work. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.